bigcal and welcome to my world. Last year I played quite a few games. I was very pleased with myself. I pre-ordered quite a lot last year, the first year I've ever really pre-ordered numerous games. Mainly for the Switch because there was a ton coming out. Got them pre-ordered and for the most part I played them as soon as I got them, played through them. A lot of times, if I get multiple games at once, I'll get distracted and play a bit of one, then a bit of another, and never really go back to it, and get distracted with another game over here, and play that, and maybe replay a game I played 20 times over here, and it was a big mess. But yeah, I managed to play through quite a lot of games, some old, mostly new. For 2020, I have a list of games that I already own, that I finally want to get into and play through all the way. So these aren't brand new games coming out in 2020 that I want to play or pick up. That's for another video. These are games that I already currently own and want to play through. So the first game is one I can't show physical because it's on the old PC digitally. And that is Mafia 3. So the first Mafia I got last year as well. I got the Xbox version, the PC version. Runs like crap on consoles sadly, so I got the PC version. I actually bought the original disc. It cost me like 50 pence or something silly. Got it installed, working with a widescreen mod and things on the PC, and it plays better, but it's just, you know, it's one of those really old now open world games, and they just don't hold up as well. They don't control very nicely, the movement's a bit iffy, and while I want to play through for the story, it's not a game I'm in a rush to really get to. Mafia 2 was the first in the Mafia series I played, and I loved it. I played through it twice, and the story is tremendous. Gameplay is fun as well, there's just not that much to do outside of the main story. Mafia 3 came out, a lot of hype, I was looking forward to it, and people kind of had mixed opinions on it. Said that gameplay was extremely repetitive from what you were doing, understandable I guess, but the story was well worth it. So I definitely want to play through the story, and the gameplay is probably just going to be upgraded from Mafia 2 in terms of how it controls and movement things. It's going to look and play a bit smoother probably. I'm okay with that. If it's the same thing over and over again, I'm fine, as long as I have fun with it at least. But I definitely want to get through the story, so I'm going to finally this year get around to playing it. So yeah. Next on my list is a game that I actually bought last year. Pre-ordered, bought it. Haven't played it yet because the Switch version that I got had issues, and they have been patching it and putting out updates for it for the last few months now, so that's great. But I've been waiting really for it to get fully patched. It's not quite there I don't think, but I think it's there enough now where I probably can start playing it. But I'll put this down on my list a little bit for when I'm going to get around to playing it, just to make sure it's there. And that is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Obviously it's basically Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but without the Castlevania name. And I did play a little bit of it, obviously, when I first got it, and it was fun. It just needed patching. I probably should have gone for the PS4 version, but I can't resist the Switch version when there's Switch versions of games. That's just my go-to console. So yeah, so I'm very much still looking forward to this. I love Castlevania. I'm never that good at them, but I think I'll be able to go through this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finally playing through this with all the patches and improvements. But yeah, I still might wait a little bit and save that one towards the end of all these different games. Next is a title I've had for quite a few years now. It was one I picked up cheap for the Wii back when I first got into the series, which was maybe about 10 years ago. Or even, was it even that long? It probably wasn't. Whenever I did the first pickups video, I showed off some of the games in this series, and that's Dragon Quest. I got my first ones. I got 6 and 9 for the DS. They were my first entries. Loved them. Been a huge fan ever since. And I picked up Dragon Quest Swords, The Masked Queen and the Tower of Mirrors. So it's a Dragon Quest game, of course, except it uses motion controls, so that puts a lot of people off. I have played about an hour of this in the past, and it isn't too bad. It runs fine, looks fine, it's Dragon Quest all the way, except you do slices and combinations with the Wii remote, of course. And because I love the Dragon Quest series so much, and I just want to play through this one. It's one that nobody ever really talks about, and I just want to see if it is actually any fun, So Dragon Quest Swords. Looking forward to really going through that. That might be one of the first ones I play through. Next, a PS3 title. Obviously this collection here has 5 games, the Dragon Quest Saga one. This one, if anyone's curious, I imported from America because we didn't get this particular version in the UK. It includes the first 3 games for the PS3, obviously 1 and 2 have been remastered for it. So all 3 games are on the discs. I think that, yeah, there's 2 games, 1 and 2 on one, 3 on the other, and then a download code for the 2 PSP titles that were ported to the PS3. Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. All really good, really fun games. There was one, I believe, released in Mexico that had the 2 PSP games on disc as well, not just download code, but that was harder to get hold of. And because the PS3 games are region free, you can play this on any system. But yeah, God of War 3 is the one I want to play through. I've started it, not finished it. I'm maybe a quarter of the way through it. I really want to finish that this year and pretty soon as well. I just need to get a new PS3 controller because mine's really starting to be knackered up. Sometimes it works fine, other times it just doesn't do anything at all. So I want to play through God of War 3 so I can play through the new God of War on the PS4. Obviously this takes place after God of War 3, and while I have a decent idea of how God of War 3 ends, I mean, it's been out for many years, I've not gone looking for spoilers, but it's one of those things where you kind of already know. It's pretty obvious how it ends, but I just want to see it for myself, play through the entire game because I love the God of War series, and then I can finally start on this new one which has been praised to absolute hell. So hopefully it'll live up to expectations when I finally get around to it. Another PS3 game, and that is Red Dead Redemption. And I have the lovely Game of the Year edition here that includes the zombie version of it, Undead Nightmare. Yeah, I picked this up many years ago. I always tell this story. I bought this at the same time that I bought Far Cry 3. And I ended up becoming basically addicted to playing Far Cry 3. Loved that game, and this never got a look in at the time. And then after I finished Far Cry 3, I had other games that I'd gotten, and I just kind of forgot about this one. But I definitely want to play through this. It's, you know, Grand Theft Auto, but on horseback in the Wild West. Really cool. And of course I want to play through that and finish it, so then I can start on my Christmas present from my friend, Red Dead Redemption 2. And I know this is a prequel, but I want to play just the first game first and then play the one that's titled 2 second. Is that stupid? No, so fuck off. Yeah, so I want to play through that, play through this. I've already got this installed now onto my hard drive. Took about half an hour to install over 2 discs worth, you know, like 100 gigabytes or something insane. But yeah, so I want to finally get through Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 this year. Next is another highly praised game, and there is a sequel coming out later this year, so I want to play the first game, see if I want the sequel as well. And that is The Last of Us. I have the remastered version here, and I believe this was also a Christmas present from my friend a couple of years ago. So I'm finally going to get round to it, Paddy, honest. I am, I'm going to get round to playing it. Yeah, The Last of Us remastered. Heard so much about this in terms of it being an incredible story. There are people who think the gameplay is tremendous, while others think the story is great but the gameplay is poo. Then there are people who just think it's the biggest pile of crap ever. So I'm interested to see where I sit on it. Yeah, and then if I like it, I'm probably going to end up picking up the sequel. And lastly, some more PS4 games. 4 in fact, and that is the Uncharted collection. I've got the Nathan Drake Uncharted collection, or whatever, 1, 2, 3, and then number 4. I own 1, 2, 3 on the PS3, never got around to playing them. Then I saw the remaster versions cost me like 8 quid or something, 9 quid. This cost me like a tenner, so I thought 20 quid basically for 4 PS4 games. Yeah, why not? And I have played bits on the PS3, just tiny bits, and I definitely enjoy the gameplay, so it's not like I'm going to put these in and think, oh, this is terrible, why did I buy these? You know, they're definitely going to be games that I will enjoy playing as long as the story keeps me involved. And yeah, so looking forward to finally playing through all of these. And then I think there's also there's another one to get, the spin-off title with the 2 female characters or something. So I'll definitely have to pick that up at some point as well. So, those are the games that I am planning to play in 2020 that realistically I should have already played by now, because I've owned them. I've owned all of them except for Red Dead Redemption 2 for at least a year now, or whenever God of War came out. Got it a bit cheaper afterwards. Yeah. So I want to get through those. Let me know in the comments below what games you plan to play in 2020. And I'm bigcal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.